Hello everyone, welcome to Media Crash episode 22. Today we are going to be talking about MMOs. My name is Holden, otherwise known as Time to Grind.
Matthew, also known as Sutter.
And I'm Bora, also known as Dap.
Yes, and so as you see, Daniel is not here, and instead he has been replaced with our good friend Bora. The one thing I asked Daniel if he wanted us to say anything about MMOs in his stead, since he was not able to make this episode, he said he wanted us to bring up Neopets, and then he said, "Never mind, JK." But we're talking about Neopets. I played Neopets like for an hour when I was a kid, and it was all right. I don't really remember playing it too much, but there you go, Daniel. There's your Neopets.
I would refute by saying my experience, but I think it was you just nailed it. So
what, you just played like an hour?
Yeah, no, I just stopped playing.
I played like Webkinz back in the day.
I played Webkinz.
Webkinz was pretty sweet, but the first thing I feel like we got to get the big giant elephant out of the room, and that is World of Warcraft, because obviously you probably have the most experience out of all of us, and we try to, when we bring guests on, obviously have them be like qualified to talk about like, you know, what they're talking about. When we had Corey, otherwise known as HDC on the fighting game thing, that's because he's like top 10 in San Antonio. This guy is the #2 World of Warcraft player in the Australia World Cup.
Yep, that's true.
That's
the World Cup, the rating World Cup. The PvP, what? Would it be PvP or would it be?
There's two. There's PvP, which is player versus player, and then there's the MDI, the Mythic Dungeon Invitational, which is PvE, player versus everything or entity.
Yeah,
I forgot.
PvE.
Or environment.
Environment.
Okay,
there you go.
That's fair.
Yeah. He's just played a lot of MMOs, probably definitely more than all of us. Most of the MMOs I played as a kid were like the more kid ones, like Wizard 101 and all that stuff. So the first thing though I think we should talk about is like I said, World of Warcraft, because how do you talk about MMOs without talking about like World of Warcraft? So I don't know, do you want to like kind of give us like a little like brief like history of your experience with World of Warcraft?
Sure, yeah. I was actually introduced to World of Warcraft by a friend, good friend of mine named Justin. He had been playing it since like vanilla, and he learned it from his dad, and he's like, yo, you should try out this game, right? And we're like, sure, sweet.
Yeah, I'll take a hit of cocaine. Hit of cocaine, that's not a thing.
Whatever, dude.
I was trying to be like, do the little sample of the drug.
You're trying to do the joke.
But I'm just dumb, so okay, continue. Sorry.
I joined, unfortunately, at the end of one of the expansions, but, you know, I was having a good time, and I was about to begin, like, the new expansion. That's, like, a big thing when every time World of Warcraft, like, every, like, 2 years, they come out with a new expansion, brand new content, everything changes and everything. So I started, like, back in Warlords of Draenor, which is, like...
Oh, wait, that was when you started?
Yeah.
Because I remember everybody hated that expansion.
Yeah, everybody hated that expansion. The endgame content was bad. However, since I just started and didn't know anything, everything seemed brand new to me, so it was cool. So I got into it. I never experienced the, I guess, drop in subs when I joined, but yeah, that's when I started. It was about, like, 4 or 5 years ago? 5 years? Something like that.
Mm-hmm. And that sounds right.
Yeah, and ever since then, I've been playing on and off. But yeah, it's kind of my experience. Recently, I guess, with the newest expansion, a few months ago, I decided to actually take it to like a more competitive level, not necessarily like competitive, like going to like World Cups or something, but more competitive in the sense of like actually like being kind of like the top players on a server and trying to like push like the really hard content that like everybody like really struggles to do. Mm-hmm. So I have a bit of experience on both the high end and on the more casual gameplay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think like my first experience was probably honestly like a year or two before you. Same like Justin and our friend Corey actually from the fighting game episode. They've been super into it, for the longest time ever, and they got me in. And it's like I would play a little bit, but like the biggest thing for me with just MMOs in general is like you got to buy the game, which is fair. You know, you got to buy the game, but then it's like you have to pay the monthly subscription, and WoW is fucking. It's like what, $15 a month or something. I know it gets cheaper if you buy it like yearly or whatever, but like. To me, it's fun. It's fun to level. It's fun to, do the things in WoW. But like every time I did anything that was not WoW, my like a little voice in the back of my head would be like, "Hey, dumbass, you're paying $15 a month for a game, and you're not even playing. When's the last time you played the game? Huh? It hasn't even been a week." And then like I feel guilted into playing the game, and then
I can't do it because like the same thing with subscription to any like network show, or what are they called? streaming service.
Yeah.
Because with those, you have to like keep watching them, or else you'll just lose your opportunity cost of even paying for that.
Yeah, but like with those though, it's like there's variety though.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to only watch one show.
In this, it's WoW. You're playing WoW, so that's all you got to do. And usually, when you're at the max level, what do? Right, and you do.
Yeah, you do the high-end content. That's when the game starts, dude.
Yeah, everybody says that. Like everybody says, like the game starts when you get to the end game. But like I've just been I've probably only played WoW for about like 150 hours across like the last 5-6 years. I pick it up every like 3 years, play it for like a month, but I just consistently am slowly putting an effort into my one rogue because I want to at least get to max level legit myself before like doing it. But like the leveling's fun, like it's all right, but like I don't know, it's just annoying. Everybody's saying like, oh, the game starts when you get to end game, but you have to spend like 200 hours to get to end game. And if you're not experienced, at least I know like you could probably like get to end. Like how long do you think it would take you, like from a fresh character without like heirlooms or anything, to get to like max level?
It would definitely take a while, to be honest.
Like 100 hours, more or less.
I don't say 100, maybe like 50.
Dang.
But
see, because I've spent like 150, still haven't.
Well, so you don't know like the areas where you're supposed to go. I mean, the only reason people look down on the leveling experience is because that's all the old content that most people have already played. That's not new. It's not fresh. There's nothing really to do there, but like do the quests and everything. So, and a lot of people that say like the end game is like where it's at, those are like the more competitive people that play it on a more competitive level. In fact, like, I mean, you can do literally anything in the game and it's still fun. I mean, there's a lot of things like from collecting mounts, collecting achievements, titles, like a bunch of stuff that casual players do. But the people who actually play it on a high-end level, they of course they like the end game content is where all the current progression stuff is happening. That's what mainly keeps people engrossed in the game, is the progression aspect of the game.
I guess that's fair. Yeah, I always liked collecting like the pets and like the mounts and the toys in the toy box. I always liked that stuff. But then like I remember like Corey would always have these amazing like mounts or things. I'd be like, oh shit, dude, that's so cool. Where'd you get that? He's like, oh, it's end game stuff. I'm like, okay, gotcha.
Well,
I mean, it's fair. It's fair.
I felt like for me, a lot of it was just like really, really rare stuff that you have to just grind just to get it. And it was like, that's all the cool looking stuff. So I just didn't really bother.
Yeah. Aren't you like all into like doing that? Like I see on like Discord every now and then you're talking about how you're like grinding for all the mounts. Are you trying to get like all the mounts and stuff right now?
I haven't played recently, but yeah, right now there's like a big, like the expansion kind of ended and we're waiting for the new expansion to come out in like a month or two. So I was just collecting mounts and everything because I already finished a lot of the end game stuff. Just, so I can like look cool to my friends and random people on the internet.
Get the gamer cred.
Yeah, gamer cred.
I tried to get to a high level like you do, but like same thing where it's just leveling up again. And for me, it's just if the combat wasn't so gratingly boring, in my opinion, like just the way how it's done.
Yeah.
I guess it would probably be a bit funner.
Were you playing a hunter?
Yeah.
Because I do remember like hearing that isn't like the hunter one of the, but like I know what you're saying, because I was playing like as rogue and I was like able to like teleport behind people. I think they keep changing all the things, but I was able to like teleport behind people and do all these things. But it ultimately is just still like, I feel like a lot of it is just like spamming the same buttons like over and over.
Yeah,
and over.
And then just waiting for the meter to go down. You go to the next area. At least with we'll do that later. But with the one I actually played for a while, the Star Wars: The Old Republic one, at least there was like some gameplay stuff. But even still, it's just a button masher.
Yeah.
The thing. How I refute that is the reason why people like the end game so much is things don't like die instantly, and you have to actually utilize your whole kit to its like full degree to actually be able to do like good damage. Like when there's like small stuff, you end up learning like, oh, if I spam this button, it'll just die real quick, whatever. But when you're doing like end game progression content, like stuff that like you need to like maximize your damage and everything over time, you really have to use every single spell and ability you have to its maximum efficiency. And that could be like 30 to 50 spells. I mean, you do have you do have spells that you like press pretty often, like your simple like attack or something. But you have so many little things that usually contribute to it and everything that during a whole like raid boss that's like 10 minutes long or something, you do use a huge amount of abilities and such, which actually adds what I feel like is the flavor to the classes and whatnot.
Yeah, dude, I don't know how people play like late game WoW without having like MMO
Oh yeah, that
mouse.
seems
Because like the
insane.
mouse I use for everything is like it has like 12. It has like a grid of 12 buttons. It's amazing because like in an FPS game, you bind all your weapons to the things. In an MMO, you know, you have all of those buttons. I don't know how people do that without like. Doesn't Justin like just he doesn't have a special? Does he have a special mouse?
I think he bought one when we were playing together at one point.
Because I remember for the longest time, I think he was just like using a like his keyboard, like a normal mouse and keyboard.
To be fair, he was playing a brain dead class, so that probably
Which was what?
Demon Hunter.
Demon Hunter.
Yeah, Demon Hunter, and if you want to be a good hunter, you do actually have to bind your abilities. Demon Hunter, you literally don't have. You press like 3 buttons, so you don't actually have to have you don't even have to have a mouse for that.
Yeah.
But I mean, like most other classes, you do, and that's people complain about the Demon Hunter thing, and they've been changing that recently. The brand new class, and it takes an expansion or so to like get a whole class like actually balanced and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
But that class is notoriously known for being a really simple class to play.
Yeah, the one because my girlfriend Caitlin, she's probably spent like, I don't know, if I had to guess, like 3,000 hours or something in like WoW just in her lifetime. Like she would like with her, she'll like pick it up like every like 5 or 6 months, and she will just get like consumed and addicted to it for like a week, and then she'll just burn herself out and she won't play for another 6 months. And she kind of does that with like games in general, but like especially WoW. Like it is so easy. She's like, I just gotta do my dailies. And then like recently, like when she played like, I don't know, 2 months ago or something, I guess they were like doing a whole double XP thing for like everything at like double XP. So she was like,
Still active, actually.
I gotta, oh, okay. Is it just until the new expansion or?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Because they're changing the leveling system, but yeah. Go.
Yeah. So how is that gonna work? Because I know in the new expansion, they're squishing all the levels. Is it like, are you gonna just like out level areas really fast now, or
No, so what they did recently, and I say recently like a year or so ago, they actually added XP scaling, or
Yeah.
level scaling to all the old areas. So you can't really outscale areas. You would be able to like, you would unlock new areas as you level up, but all the same areas you could technically level like all the way.
Oh,
Not necessarily the best thing, but I mean, you can do it.
Mhm.
And in the new, what's it called? The new expansion, it's going to be the same idea. In fact, I think when you get to level 10, I believe, you get to choose which area you want to start in. You'd be like, I want to experience what this was. And you can just level in that expansion the whole time if you want. Or you can switch expansions. So like, it lets you, it kind of trying to fix the idea like that there's like 120 levels. It takes a ridiculous long amount of time to reach that level. They're trying to squish the levels, but make it so you can still experience all of the expansion content as much as you want, like the old ones, before you reach max level.
That's cool. I'm glad that they're like still trying to like improve that type of stuff.
They're not just completely making that area obsolete for
Have
like
they ever done a level
decades.
squish before? Is this like the first time they've?
I think this is the first time. I know they like changed like XP values and whatnot, so like it's not like each level is like ridiculously hard and like it keeps getting like insanely amount of hard. But
I
like,
have a technical question. How long could Activision Blizzard just keep updating it? Like, could they theoretically like update the engine and like get the graphics going for another 10 years or something with WoW, or would they eventually have to like either technically make a new game or something?
honestly, they can. They keep updating like how the game runs and everything.
Yeah.
In terms of engine, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be too. I feel like
Yeah.
that would be too hard of an undertaking to like rebuild it in a new engine
Okay, because I'm just trying to think of what the like 10 years from now, what they're just going
or
to
just expansions.
Just
I mean,
keep doing
honestly,
it?
because like even if they're dropping in, I don't know recently, but even if they keep like losing subscribers, the game's still making a crap ton of money. So like I don't know. I could see them potentially like if they start losing enough money, like the updates might be like, or the expansions might be a lot smaller or something. I don't know. I see WoW still pumping out expansions in 10 years.
No, I'm not doubting that. I'm just saying like how they do it. It's just like the game's just going to look even more and more relatively grody.
Well, like if you look at the new expansions, I feel like they look good. Like the textures on the new ones look good.
That's fair.
Yeah, they update. all
And
the
they've
time.
updated
Yeah.
old ones too. Yeah.
You can see like really old models like that squirrel meme or whatever. The one was like the poly,
Yeah.
like it would look like that originally, but then like later on, it looks actually like pretty well
Yeah.
done.
So it's just interesting to talk. Obviously we're talking a lot about WoW because that is the MMO. Like it completely just destroyed every other MMO when it first came out. Like I know there was like EverQuest and stuff like that. Also, fun fact: I don't know if guys know who Jeff Kaplan is, I think it's Jeff Kaplan. he was like the lead developer for the Wrath of the Lich King expansion, which is like apparently considered like one of people's favorite. And then he became like the head like developer community guy for Overwatch. But apparently back before he worked at Blizzard, he used to be a huge like EverQuest player, I think. And his username was Tiggle Bitties. And like I remember at one point there was like a rant he did on the forums, like EverQuest did some update that like angered a lot of the fans, and there was just a huge rant of him like going off on the developers, him being like saying like, oh my god, this would be so easy for me to just like fix up, like you guys are fucking like I mean like that was hilarious. And then to just, I don't know, that's a little fun fact. But so I guess like moving on from I don't know, World of Warcraft, like what's an MMO for you, Matthew, that like
I can tell a story from RuneScape.
RuneScape? Yeah, let's talk about RuneScape.
The first couple times I played for free, and I just sat in the area and I just went, y'all are noobs, and I just kept walking. And this guy just he got triggered by that. He just kept following me. Who are you calling a noob? You're a noob. What is wrong with you? And he kept like bullying me, and I was just like, I was calling the goblins noobs, and he was like, oh yeah, they are noobs. Do you want 100,000 gold? And I was like, sure. And then that's how I just my player level 3 character had like 100,000 gold.
How much is that? Like, I don't know the scale.
I don't know the scaling at all because he just gave it to me so casually. I assume at later levels that's probably not that hard to get.
Yeah.
But
for like a level 3 to just.
But I just didn't. Yeah, I realized the game. I just didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I know. If Daniel were here, Daniel would have a lot more to talk about RuneScape. Because I remember he used to play it a lot when he was a kid. He got me into it a little bit, but I never got like super far at all. I know people's like still play it now, and like just I guess it's just one of those things that you do to like just grind something while you watch like a YouTube video or something. I know that's a huge thing for like MMOs in general. Like I'm sure like you probably watch YouTube videos while grinding for mounts and WoW or something. Yeah. But it seems like RuneScape at late game or like end game is literally like the most grindy MMO you could possibly have.
Well, it's just Sims. You just improve all your skills slowly until you get like a good character. One
of my old coworkers back when I worked at like a UPS store, he said that when he was like 16, 17, every summer he would like create a new RuneScape account and he would just grind it for hundreds of hours and then sell the account at the end of the summer for like $2,000 or something. And he was like, yeah, it was fun because like he played League, so a lot of the time he like would do it while like queuing in League and stuff and just while watching things, and just every summer he'd make like $2,000 or something. Like
that's amazing.
For like a 16, 17-year-old, that's pretty freaking good. Yeah. I don't know. I know another. So I guess I kind of want to talk about a lot of the nostalgic like MMOs that we played when we were kids, because I think a lot of us played very similar ones. So I guess like the earliest one I can remember playing is like Webkinz. And like, did you ever play Webkinz, Matthew?
I did not.
Dude, Webkinz was the shit. Yeah. Because like
I dabbled in it, like I got one, but I didn't do anything with it.
Did you ever like put the code in online or whatever? Yeah, because like how it had the best scheme. I don't know why I said scheme. Best marketing like idea is like you buy the stuffed animals and you get a code and you can play with it in Webkinz. But here's the thing though, there was a subscription. Like you could only play Webkinz for like 6 months or something. So even though you owned that character, if you wanted to keep playing after 6 months, you had to buy another Webkinz. And these things were like $15, $20, which now that I'm thinking about it, paying $15 every, like 6 months, that's not actually that bad, especially since you're getting like stuffed animals with them. But like you constantly had to keep buying more and more, and you could have like a house and
at least it wasn't all for nothing, as in like you would get like a collection of them to keep.
Yeah.
I had so many.
I know. I had like 11 or 12, and I remember I threw away like back when I first moved into my first apartment. I had like all of these stuffed animals, and I kept I'm glad I kept a couple of my Webkinz, because I actually have them in my current apartment. I have like 2 or 3 of them that that were my favorites. So do you still have any of yours?
I have like 1 or 2. I feel like that I really liked, but
mine's long gone. I don't know where
I think they exist, but like they probably haven't, like, I don't know, but like I remember seeing them like a few years ago.
Just obliterated or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. They were just so cool, because I remember like my my great grandma Helena, she would, every time she would visit, she would she would give us Webkinz, but like how she did it was always like the night before she left or something. Like she would put them right in front of our doors, like at nighttime. So like we would like wake up in the morning and like our little like Webkinz thing were there. And also I have to say, I played Webkinz way longer and later in life than you are really supposed to. Cause like I remember I had this friend, like Diego. I don't know if you ever.
I remember him for a couple of years.
Yeah, and he, me and him, I don't know why, we just played Webkinz until we were like 13 or something. Like we played it. I mean, it was such a fucking good game. I swear. Like there was so much to do in terms of like, I don't know. That was amazing. Like, and I had a similar moment with you with the trading thing. I remember like you could do like a trade where you could like offer, you know, different things. And this guy just gave me like 1 gold, which I think 1 gold was a lot. Webkinz, if I remember, or something. But I like he just like gave it to me for free. And I was like, I think I was like that. I was so happy for like the week. Like that made my week. That was peak Webkinz.
Yeah.
Webkinz. I don't know. What were some other MMOs though? Like some of the kid ones.
Club Penguin.
Club Penguin, that is probably the next one. Did you ever play Club Penguin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your guys' experience with Club Penguin?
It was pretty fun. I mean, it wasn't like there was a lot of like mini games and such, and you can like grind like gold and everything. And I just remember being able to like mastering like some of the mini games and like decking my igloo out and whatnot.
I remember that was the popular one. People actually did every now and then.
Oh yeah, the one of my favorite parts about Club Penguin was all of the like little secrets. Like there was this whole like Easter egg to become like a secret agent Club Penguin.
Dude, those were so good.
And like you had to like that was so cool to me because like not everybody had it. And then they had like the jutsu or whatever, like
play the card game and
I think they make a physical card game of that too. I don't know. I can't remember how you play, but
that was pretty cool.
I kind of want to pick that up because that dude. I think they just recently killed OG Club Penguin and they like released a mobile MMO version of Club Penguin. I don't know what Disney's doing with that.
It keeps we're killing it, but we're making another one. That's what I keep hearing from it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I just remember it being really popular and everything. And then like if you were like too young, you had to play on the pre-made chat message server or whatever, so you can't chat with people besides like the hey friend.
I remember the whole community of just around r/ban from Club Penguin.
Oh yeah, there were like speed runs for like how fast you could get banned in speed or in
Wait, just how fast you can make an account and just say shit on the public chat or something.
The oh dude, that what was it, Toontown?
Oh yeah.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Toontown, the was that Disney? Was that Disney? That was Disney because it had like
maybe.
Like with like Mickey Mouse and like you had the gags that you like threw at the evil robot HQ.
Was it off brand? I think it was off brand. I think Toontown wasn't Disney. It might have been.
There were Disney characters in it.
I never played.
There was legit like Mickey Mouse Avenue.
Yeah, I remember Toontown. That was fun.
Yeah, Toontown was fun.
Except
game.
We found out later that how the quest works in that rather than just giving you harder enemies to defeat, they just started giving you like more and more enemies to beat per quest. So eventually I got to like beat 75 of the same enemy to win.
Yeah, because they have, I think it's for the same for a lot of the MMOs, you know, they have private servers that, you know, for like things like MMOs or like WoW, you know, it's kind of a way to like pirate it, but also kind of a way to like relive certain times. Like before there was WoW, I think the reason there's WoW Classic now is because of private servers. Yeah. They realized they could, you know, monetize that. But so we played Toontown Rewritten, which was, a recreation private server. And that made me realize Toontown's not a good game. Maybe for little kids, but it is the most repetitive MMO I have ever played.
It had a lot of charm. It had a lot of cool world building and charm to it. But
I like the concept of like it being like evil corporate like businessmen HQ robots, and like you had to like, prank them to like kill them. I think the best part of it for me was I loved the way they did the mini games because you needed the currency to buy new gags and everything. And so if you ran out of things to, weapons, you would go on the mini game trolley and you could go with several other people.
And it became like Mario Party.
Yeah, and it was just, it kept cycling through all these different mini games, and that's how you earned the currency. So I really liked, I think that was highlight of, that's sad when the highlight of the MMO is just the shitty little mini games that come with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Speaking of like kid MMOs, I think the one that is actually I will fight on and die on this hill. The best MMO I think I've ever played in my entire life is Wizard 101. I swear, dude, that game is so amazing because it was an MMO built around like deck building. Like it was a card.
I
game.
do remember the different decks were really cool.
Yeah, like and there were different elements. Like there was like storm and there was like fire and death or that sounds dark, but like whatever the stereotypical edgy skull stuff. You'd like combine two of them or something.
I remember one of the top tier fire ones was called Elephant. I was like, ooh.
There were a lot of puns in that game, yeah.
But then that one was just
when we played
hell.
I think we recently, I don't know, like a year ago, our friend group like started playing Wizard 101 again. And the one thing I will say is the way they do a thing where like whenever you use an attack, they all have accuracy. Like it might have like 80% accuracy, which means 80% of the time it'll hit. That is infuriating. I swear, because I think the whole thing with fire, like the whole fire element, was that it was like they were really powerful, but they had a low accuracy. But it's like, that's not fun. It's not fun to just sit there and have your things miss over and over and over.
If it's a really bad one, then yeah.
Like they were like 65%, like some of them.
RNG simulator.
Like, so I don't know. That was meh. I'm trying to think. I know the one of the other MMOs that I think we've all played is Realm of the Mad God.
Oh yeah.
I know that's really cool because it's like it had like a permadeath.
That one really just had a fun
roguelite
gameplay.
MMO.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Another one I want to talk about. What's it called? Star Wars. Did you ever play Star Wars: The Old Republic?
I haven't actually.
Okay. One thing I guess we should talk about MMOs in general is why a lot of them just have really, really fucking good cinematic trailers, like the big company ones.
Oh yeah.
Like that's just their trend. Like it was like WoW did that, and now everyone that's trying to make their own version of MMO tried to make it as well. And like yeah, for some reason the Star Wars ones are really cool. The Elder Scrolls Online ones are also pretty dope to look at.
Oh yeah, I forgot about them. Yeah.
But with Star Wars: The Old Republic, I liked it because it was Star Wars, and it was like a prequel to everything. So you got like to see it was in a period of Star Wars where I thought it was actually cool because it wasn't just the Jedi are on top or the Sith on top. It was they're both their own faction and fighting each other.
Mm-hmm.
You could be a Jedi and the other could be a Sith, and you'd fight. Like that's how the PvP worked.
So how was the combat in that game?
It was a step better. So instead of just pressing 1 to attack again and again, your attack was also just the right click button. So like if you're a lightsaber guy, you could swing, 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 swing. Technically, it wasn't automated, so you would have to do it yourself, or I'm sure you could set it.
Were there like, did you have moves or like?
You did have moves, and you can trigger them as well, and like alt them and like do them. But like that eventually got repetitive anyway. But like it was just a bit better, and every quest had dialogue with trees, and depending on if you're a dick or a good person, you could respond to them. It was like a BioWare game, like a mini one.
Oh, that's cool.
So like even if you were, the only problem with me is I had no one to play with, so I didn't really care. But if you're trying to level with someone, it's a little annoying because you have to go in conversations all the time. But on the other hand, playing by yourself to level up is actually fun, and I'm assuming would be like fun raid bosses, but I never got around to that.
Yeah, because I always heard people talk about Knights of the Old Republic, and like the way people talked about it, it always never sounded like an MMO. Like it never sounded like an MMO, but like it obviously is one.
I would try to get people, because I think the first couple levels are free if people want to try it out again. It is fun. Like the actual story, sometimes are pretty cool. Some of them are cooler than others.
For some reason, I always also thought that the gameplay was like, what was that other Star Wars game you played where like there's actual gameplay with the lightsabers and stuff?
Oh, Jedi Knight Academy?
Yeah.
It's not that, but...
Now imagine an MMO like that had the actual gameplay of like...
Gameplay-wise, the problem with all MMOs, they're MMORPGs, so they have all those elements and they have to make it balanced. If... It's kind of hard to add, like, would it just be you do more damage if you hit them if you're higher level and like...
Well, I don't know. How does Elder Scrolls Online do it? Because there's actual gameplay in Elder Scrolls
that's a good
Online.
point. I guess they also have that as well.
And like that's a whole genre of games as well. It's kind of more of those like third person or like I know Black Desert Online. I never played that, but I know Black Desert Online. That was like a whole selling point was that like there was gameplay. You know what I mean? I know like.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I would appreciate those way more than actual like. That a lot of MMOs have that problem for me. Is the base gameplay isn't as fun.
A little repetitive.
In my opinion, I know if you figure out the classes, I'm assuming there's actually a meta that you can actually get enjoyment out of doing. But like,
yeah, I feel like a lot of the MMOs that don't focus on that like gameplay type style, they make up for it in the environment and how it interacts with you. Like, I know like the biggest thing in like World of Warcraft, bringing it back to that again, was not necessarily like, I mean, learning the classes is like its own thing. You know, you eventually learn like how to do like optimal damage for like different scenarios and everything. That's one thing. But the other thing is learning all of the mechanics that the game has to offer in terms of like from dungeons. You learn all the mobs, you know, what they do. You learn how the bosses work. You learn how the raid bosses work.
Okay.
And kind of like experiencing and learning how to both maximize your damage output while trying to, you know, navigate like all these mechanics, play around them and everything makes the game fun, in my opinion. I feel like that adds to the gameplay where instead of just, you know, you're button mashing and standing still, you actually have to do all this random stuff while doing these buttons and whatnot. And I feel like that adds to the fun of the gameplay instead of it just being like the same repetitive rotation and whatnot.
Yeah, like it probably allows the developers to like focus, because like I guarantee you that making content for Elder Scrolls Online is probably way harder than making like content for like World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
So like, you know, they can make these expansions way bigger and have a lot more things to do in them. Maybe I've never played Elder Scrolls Online, but like that would be my assumption is, you know, the amount of effort, you know, you can make more cool shit in, you know, World of Warcraft. I think like one of the things I always liked with World of Warcraft, kind of talking about it again, is how like they would constantly like add like a new expansion would like come out and like it would like introduce battle pets. Like just we're gonna put Pokemon in our MMO, and like all the new expansions. I'm assuming there's still new like battle pets constantly.
Oh yeah, there's new everything.
Yeah, so like they put in the mechanics and they don't just like forget. I'm sure they forget about some of the mechanics, like whatever WoD, you know, Warlords of Draenor was. I'm sure like nobody cares about that end game stuff anymore.
Yeah, that was the whole like mission table thing, like the phone game. That was a bust. That was a bad idea.
Threw a mobile. So you have they threw Pokemon in it. They threw a mobile game in Warlords of Draenor. What else have they done? They've done pets, which was no. I just said that. I don't know. What are some other like things that they've just like thrown entire like
mechanics and stuff?
Yeah, or like just huge new like things in like all of WoW. I don't know. I kind of just put you on the spot, but
well, I mean, in terms of like the new thing that the expansions also add, I mean, it's not necessarily just like the casual like battle pets and whatnot, because like in Legion, which was the second to last expansion, they added the whole like timed mythic dungeons that infinitely scale.
Oh,
and that's also like a cool new mechanic that, you know, introduced like different types of gameplay. Because before it was like just like set like this was the hardest content, you finished it. All right, good job. That's it. It's like, but this one allowed infinite scaling, so it kind of added a new like gameplay like thing to challenge for, because it was different than the typical like, oh, you know, the end game content is just raiding, and you know you have to have a guild. You 6 hours, 8 hours a week or something. You try to kill the boss that you can't kill.
Yeah.
Well, this adds another like kind of smaller aspect. And then the newest one, of course, in this new expansion is you can do these like visions, which are basically like. The whole point of this expansion, or the end of the expansion, was like N'Zoth, which is one of the old gods, is like corrupting the world, and you have to like stop him. You can enter these visions that are basically a like a vision if N'Zoth controlled like all of like the main cities in the game, and you had to like fight through the corruption and everything. And it was like a single player mode, and it was like another like mode that, you know, you could do on top of like the end game stuff or whatever, but like just adding new stuff. And I know the next one they're gonna add like a roguelite type dungeon thing, and they do try to focus on adding like a brand new like whole thing that usually you can do single player wise into the game. And I kind of do appreciate that. At first it was like battle pets, and like I don't know if they added any other like collectible type stuff besides like just adding more battle pets and mounts and whatnot, but obviously they do try to add like the new mechanic type stuff and make it so like there's different types of ways to play the game, from multiplayer competitive to single player to you know, to collecting to stuff like that.
I'm trying to think. I know we're probably running a little bit low on time. So, one MMO I want to talk about is Fusion Fall, which was like the Cartoon Network.
That one had a really cool premise.
Kid ones. What was the premise again? I don't remember.
It was like it was all the Cartoon Network like things into one universe, but also it was something else is happening.
I think it was like there were like evil versions of them or something. But yeah, either way, I remember our one of our friends, Anna, was super into that, and she had a membership, and so she you know, got me to play it. And I got to a certain point in the game where it was like, okay, you need to kill 3 of these like mini bosses or like I don't know, they were kind of easy, but you have to kill 3 of these big guys within like 5 minutes. And the problem is I started playing the game when it had already been popular, and I don't know how people got past this point. There were just thousands of people in that area, just constantly all on the same quest. So no one could complete the quest because they wouldn't respawn fast enough to kill like the 3 and 5. And so I got stuck at that part, and I couldn't play past that. But I like the premise.
Oh, if we're gonna rant about side quests like that, okay, whatever. Leveling up, fine, whatever. Do those arbitrary quests, collect them. But the fact that half of them have that like % chance dropping of like what you need is so infuriating when you're just trying to.
Oh yeah, when they say like collect like the brains of these bears or something, and like, half of them don't have brains, and you're like, how are they alive? Like what? And it's like,
it's just like
that's
you feel like, okay, I have to collect 7 of these. Oh, there's not even a chance of them dropping.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's probably at least doubling like the amount of chance. Like
that's definitely not fun. But to add on to what you're saying with like the big guys and a million people, I'm glad that like a lot of MMOs now, like when that happens, they have ways of like working around it. At least I know like in World of Warcraft, when there's like a crap ton of people doing the same quest, especially when expansion launches, everybody's doing like the same quest and everything. All the enemies scale based on how many people are attacking it. So the second like more than one person attacks it, it just like starts gaining health and everything like really
and
fast.
then everybody gets credit for
and everybody gets credit for it. But like that way, it's still like, I mean, it dies reasonably fast, but it's not like you cannot finish the quest and you're just stuck there like trying to like fight for this one guy.
Yeah.
So I do like that like mechanic, and I feel like a lot more MMO should like add that stuff. Like when there's a lot of people in the same spot, you can't like you know, or fix respawn
Yeah, because
timers.
Fusion Fall, what they did was they did the thing where first person to hit it is the only one that gets credit for killing it.
God, yeah.
So like even if you helped kill something, you didn't get credit.
that's one thing. I guess this is my point of view. This whole thing is just me shitting on MMOs and how they work, but it's just like, and in order, they require so much game finicking just to get everyone to balance either fighting the same thing or fighting each other and all that. That like the gameplay itself just starts like feeling like gamey, like too gamey for my taste. Just like the numbers start like, it's like, oh, this thing is just giant thing, but like if 2 people hit it, it just somehow just triples in hell. Like there's stuff like that. Like
It kind of breaks your immersion.
A little bit too much.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. I'm trying to think. Are there any other MMOs that you guys have played that we're missing? Or
There's, I think it's an MMO like Path of Exile.
oh, I've heard of that. I haven't played it at all. Have you?
I played it. It's basically one of those like
Is it kind of like Diablo? Okay.
Yeah, I forgot what it's like action RPG. I think is what it's called. So it's like an MMOA RPG, and the thing about the game is that everybody likes is it's completely free. Like they don't charge for anything except cosmetics, and they still somehow make like money off that. So like they're doing stuff, but it's also a pretty good game as well. Little bit different because a lot of the other ones they're like RPGs. This one has a kind of a different style in terms of like a lot of it's based off of like fast action and like getting equipment and whatnot, but it still has the grindy aspects of like getting equipment, doing quests and everything. I feel like is also another good one, and of course kudos to the developers for making it free. So
especially when like every other game's like 15 a month or you can't even play. Dude. Like
it's
the one other one I want to talk about real fast is Temtem. It's like in early access right now, but it's like a Pokemon MMO. But in my opinion, it does Pokemon better than Pokemon does. Like it's like everything that you've wanted as a fan of Pokemon, like growing up. It's what you want. Like it's actually challenging, unlike the new ones. Like the just the social aspects of the game. Like they're all double battles. I don't know. That game's pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm really excited to keep seeing how like that game grows and stuff. And then also that's just you just buy the game and you just can play the game. Like I think there'll probably be See, and I even think they said that the expansions will be free too. Like, I think it's literally like they're going to monetize through like cosmetics and stuff. And then obviously the base sale of the game. But like, you don't have to worry about like paying for a membership.
Okay.
That's always like the worst thing for me. So
yeah, like you said, it gets that like you have to play it to make your money's worth or something, which I do feel that, that is.
Yeah. So I don't know. Are there any other MMOs that
I never spent too much of my time playing MMOs, so no, I don't have too much.
Pop Tropica.
Oh,
did you guys ever play Pop Tropica?
I remember
that barely counts. If that counts, Roblox counts.
What? Pop Tropica? Wait, I thought in Pop Tropica you could. Oh
Okay.
no, Pop Tropica there were just hub areas where you could see each other. I guess.
I think.
I don't know, but
I haven't played in so long. I forgot.
But Pop Tropica was like there were all these different islands and they all had different mysteries that you had to solve, and that's pretty cool. I guess it might not count as.
I would say Roblox is just more social. Like you actually do things with people, but I guess it's more
Roblox
like
is a bunch of
Gmod.
different like game. That's like saying Gary's mod.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I don't know. Pop Tropica probably isn't an MMO. You're probably right. I just definitely don't think Roblox is an MMO.
Roblox is weird, but like you do have like the factions and all that stuff, but like at the same time, there's no like. Yeah, there's just no. It's all like self-made stuff.
Yeah, it's like all individual
Yeah.
games and stuff. But man, yeah. Well, this has been a ton of fun talking about like MMOs and stuff. And like obviously, if like we forgot your favorite like MMO, you know, definitely let us know like in the comments down below. And if you are still watching or listening at this point, thank you for just suffering listening to us talk. If you are actually, I hope you're not like suffering. If you're
Yeah,
listening,
like
to
in
one-
vain.
I don't know why I chose that word.
Yeah.
But
You don't have to watch us that much.
yeah, like go outside or something if you're suffering. But okay, well, either way, we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.